Hey friends, it's your pal Digital D again. And this week you've been working on adding up to 10. So all of those things you've learned so far this year, you're starting to put that together and learn how to add numbers up to 10. So you're going to talk about your number partners that you remember. We're going to talk about the different strategies, like we can count on and count back and all those things. Let's review what you did this week.
In Lesson 18A, Array Math, we're learning to add within 10, and that's something we've been slowly building towards all year in kindergarten. We've talked about all the different number partners for all the numbers, and now we're really focusing on adding within 10. So let's take a look at the picture that you and your teacher might have looked at this week. And there's all kinds of objects in the pet store again that we can work on adding. And I'm going to write down some addition sentences as we see them. So let's start with our dogs. We have two types of dogs. We have our white and brown dogs, and we have our black dogs. And we need to figure out how many dogs we have all together. So let's start with one group. Let's start with our white and brown dogs. I want you to count them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 white and brown dogs. And then we're going to be adding the extra black dogs that are back here. So how many of those do we have? 1, 2, 3. So we're adding together the 5 black dogs, the 5 brown and white dogs, and the 3 black dogs. Well, how many do we have all together? So let's put 5 in our head and let's count on. So 5 white and brown dogs, let's count on. 6, 7, 8. We have 8 dogs in the pet store. 5 plus 3 equals 8. What about, what else can we add? Let's look up here at these dog collars. Now we've got big dog collars and little dog collars and red dog collars and gray dog collars. There's all kinds of addition sentences we can make. So let's do this. Let's talk about how many big collars there are plus how many little collars there are. How many big collars do we have? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to start with 4. And then we're going to add on all of the little collars. So let's count the little collars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 plus 6. And we need to know how many is that all together. How many total collars do we have? So I want you to right now, in your head silently, figure out what 4 plus 6 is. If you need to count the collars, you can point and count. Or if you know what 4 plus 6 is, we can just know that in our head. So take a second, do that silently. All right, how many collars are there? That's right, there are 10. 1, 2, 3, 4 big collars. We count on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 plus 6 equals 10. What about the dog chew ropes that are here on the bottom shelf? How many of those are there? Well, let's start off by looking at the two groups. We have a group of purple and a group of red. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 purple ones. How many red ones should I write down for my addition problem? How many red chew toys are there? I want you to turn to someone next to you and tell them how many red chew toys there are. That's right. We had 4 purple ones. We also have 4 red ones. So how many is that all together? Well, 4 plus 4 equals 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 and 4 equals 8. Let's do one more together. Let's look at the dog bowls. Let's look at the dog bowls up here. How many striped bowls are there? We have 3 bowls that have stripes on them. How many dog bowls are there that have the dog paw print? 1, 2, 3, 4. So what am I going to do with these two numbers? I have the dog bowls that have stripes, and the dog bowls that have paw prints. What are we going to do with those two numbers? We're going to add 3 plus 4. If you know what 3 plus 4 is, I want you to put your thumb up. If you know what 3 plus 4 is, or count them if you need to, but put your thumb up when you know 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4 equals what? 7. We have 3 stripe bowls. We can count on 4, 5, 6, and 7. Awesome job, friends. Let's move on. Let's look at these. We have our 10 frames. Remember, it's a 10 frame when we have 2 rows of 5. So there's 5 on the top row, 5 on the bottom row in our 10 frames. But we're going to write a addition sentence to show the colored counters, starting off with the red counters. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red counters. I'm going to put that down there in red. 6 red counters. How many yellow counters are there? There are only 3 of them. But how many do we have when we look at our whole 10 frame? How many counters are there in all? Well, we can start with 6 red. We can count on 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 counters. Is there a quicker way for us to know that there are 9 counters? I want you to look at our 10 frame and think about that. How can I quickly see that there are 9 counters when I just look at it? So if I look at my 10 frame, I know that if I had all 10 of these filled in, that there would be 10 counters. But we have 1 space that's left. So I can actually see that 1 less than 10 is 9. I can tell that pretty quickly, and I might not even have to count all my counters. Let's look at the next one. How many counters are on the 10 frame? Is our entire 10 frame filled in? It is. That means there are 10 counters. So we know that's going to have to add up to equal 10. So let's look at it. How many red counters are there? Well, we see we have 4 red counters. And then the rest are going to be yellow. So let's look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow counters. So 4 red counters and 6 yellow counters. What did we say? What's the total number of counters? We already know that. Why? Because we saw that the whole 10 frame was filled in. So we know that 4 plus 6 has to equal 10 because all of the 10 frame is filled in. Let's double check though. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 4 plus 6 equals 10. All right, we got one more. Let's see. How many red counters are there? Well, I can look and see that the top row of my 10 frame is filled in. When we have half of it filled in, we have the one whole row. How much is that equal to? Well, that is equal to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we have some yellow counters as well, and we have 3 yellow counters. So I want you to take a second and silently in your head decide how many counters we have in all. What should I put over here next to my equal sign? So I want you to count or tell me how many counters there are. There are 8 counters. Are 5 red and 3 yellow. 5 plus 3 equals 8. Awesome job, friends.
Great job, friends. You worked really hard today with counting to 10. Remember that when you're counting to 10 or adding within 10, that you can always use your fingers. We have our 10 fingers, and that helps us be able to do addition. We have those things right there with us all the time. So let's practice real quick. If I tell you that I have 4, I want you to hold up 4 fingers, and then we're going to add on 4 more. So I have 4 and 4. I can put those two together. How many do I have if I'm adding 4 and 4 together? Well, I can count. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it's really handy. We have our fingers. We know that 4 and 4 equals 8. So this week, keep practicing figuring out what numbers add up together within 10. Next week, we're going to continue to work on our addition facts. So I'll see you then. Until then, keep counting.